Hi everyone. Today is the last day in this packet. So look for the cartoon. It has April 16th. And the cartoon says, "It won't cost you any money, Mommy. You can just pay with a credit card." So look for that cartoon. I thought it was an appropriate cartoon because today in your smooth reading, you are learning about saving money, setting up a savings account. So it seemed appropriate. Before we do today, the April 16th homework, I wanted to go over the results of the Zoom conference today and also look at your week 4 in review. And on the Zoom conference will also be the person who gets my gold star for this week. So let me pull that up. Okay, so the gold star this week goes to OG. And the reason she's getting the gold star is that she had the courage to ask a question about something that she didn't understand. And that's always a good thing. Always ask questions for even the smallest thing that you didn't understand. And I felt really badly about this question because I would never have done this to you intentionally. So good job, OG. I'm fixing to talk to everybody about what you did. So April 1st, April Fool's Day, I gave you 2 word searches. And OG asked me about this one because she could not find a single word that actually spelled an entire word. So I started looking through it and it's like, oh my goodness, you're right. There were many words that were there, but they were not together. Like right down here you have embarrassed and it's got the EMB, and then it's got an S that doesn't belong, and then an ARAS, and then an M that doesn't belong, and then the SED. And so I started looking all around and there was not a single word that was connected. I truly did not know that. And I just feel so badly if you spent an hour or 2 hours on this April Fool's joke, and man, it was really an April Fool's joke, even on me, because I didn't even see it. So good job, OG, for letting us know that. All right, also on the Zoom conference today, we talked a little bit, actually we talked quite a bit about working on your listening skills. And a lot of times listening and speaking go hand in hand. So some of the ways that you can really work on your listening and speaking skills are, of course, the readings, the smooth readings. You know, you need to listen to those at least 3 times. You need to practice that as much as you need to feel more comfortable in that. And everyone, you can still do your Burlington English at home, either through your cell phone, or if you have a computer, you can do it through there. So practice listening and pronouncing those words that are in Burlington English. But I found a new resource that I thought would be good for everyone to use. So we're gonna pull that up, click on it, and then share. So did that come up? Let's see, I don't think so. Let me try that again. So share, click on it. Yes, there we go. Okay, so the website is csal.gsu.edu. And it looks like this, and then you just click on the Enter Here button. And then go all the way across until you get to the library, right there. And then go down to where it says Adult Learners. Click on that. And there are all of these readings that you can do. and most of them are recorded so that you could listen to it again and again and again. And I'm going to start with the easier ones, but if that's not a challenge, you can do the medium readings or you can do the harder. But I'm just going to start with the easier ones. And I always just want to do the nonfiction, the real life stories, but you can do whatever you want. Okay, now we'll just go down here and let's just do airport travel so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is right up here. It says first timed reading, and start the 1 minute timer and read the story. But first what you do is you go down to the very bottom of the page on the yellow where it says click here to continue. You click on that.
Level 3.5, A Memorable Morning at the Airport. First reading. Read out loud along with me. I'm employed by a company that does work throughout the country. I was assigned to a new project in St. Paul, Minnesota. As a result, I needed to fly from my home in California to my new work assignment. It was a very memorable morning.
Okay, so I think that Faye and I kind of put a little bit more emotion into our readings, but the nice thing about that website is that you can listen to it again and again and again as you try those readings. Okay, so anyway, it's a good website. And then another one is TV. You know, listen to English speaking channels, and you can still do subtitles in Spanish if you need to, but if you just listen, you'll pick up more and more. And quite frankly, right now during this coronavirus pandemic, even the commercials are really good. There's a lot of commercials directly targeting the coronavirus issues, and I think it's pretty good. So those are ways to improve it. Okay. And that's it for the Zoom conference. And now we're going to go on to your week in review. So go ahead and turn to your April 13th video, the grid, the prefixes and suffixes grid. Okay, so popular, and there's the LAR. I cannot see that backwards. Commitment, there's the MENT. Populated, and the ED is right there. Capable, the capable, the BLE is right there. Teacher, the ER is up there. Instructor, the OR is right there. And Sunny, which is the one I gave you, was NY. So if you notice, I skipped the considerate. Oh, I also put these up here just because it's bigger. Okay, so popular, we have the LAR right there. Commitment, the MENT right there. Populated, the ED is right there. Capable, the BLE is there. Teacher, the ER is way up there. Can you see that? I don't think you can see that one, can you? Let me try to put it up a little bit. There we go. The ER is right there. Instructor, the OR is right there. And then sunny, the NY is right there. Now consider it that you didn't have the ATE suffix. So I added it down here with the IC that we've covered, with the ANT that we've covered, and with the ATE. So your last one, consider it, go ahead and add to the bottom of your suffix and prefix grid, because that's a new one, the ATE suffix. Let me get this all rearranged now. Okay, put it down a little bit. All right, so I thought I would give you some other examples of the ATE suffix words. So the first one I have is intermediate. Where have we heard the word intermediate before? Okay, that's what we're in, right? We are in the intermediate class. Okay, the next word is demonstrate. Demonstrate. And then I have abbreviate, like if you write out your name completely, ANITAMASON, but if you want to just, no, those are your initials. If you wanted to abbreviate, like a lot of times when I'm doing the family words, let me just give you an example. I was talking about initials, but a lot of times when I do the family words, I just abbreviate, like right here on the adjective, instead of spelling out the word entirely, I just do the ADJ. So I abbreviated it. I made it shorter. All right. Communicate, and then unfortunate. And I liked this unfortunate one because it's got a prefix, it's got the the UN, and then it's got the unfortunate, the ATE. So if we crossed out that, I cannot find a single marker. But if we cross that out and added an E, just imagine I'm doing an E right there. The root word is fortune. So unfortunate. Alrighty. So that is it for your prefix and suffixes grid for this week. You're getting pretty comfortable with prefixes and suffixes. Just know that you can pick those out and they work for anything. You look at the end of a word, and even if you don't know what the first of that word is, you can figure out the suffixes. So you've got half the battle done. All right, the next thing we're going to do is your vocabulary word quadrants, your family words. All right, so we did available earlier this week, so we're going to start with issue. The root word is issue. So you can make this also a verb. He issues, they issued, they are issuing an invoice. Okay. Issueless, issueless. It's kind of hard to say, issueless. If we had a meeting and there were no problems in the meeting at all, we would say the meeting was issueless. There were no problems, okay? Issuable. And then the nouns down here, issuer. I am the issuer of the meeting, or issuant, also a noun. So those are family words for issue. And we just covered the ANT this week also, didn't we? The issuant. All right, the next word is technique. Just one, techniques. Just the plural of technique. The next one is remove. And so You always can do the verbs. He, she removes, they removed, they are removing the carpet. Removable is the adjective. The carpet was removable. Removably is the adverb, because you have the ly. And then there were quite a few nouns also. You've got removal, the removal of the office equipment into my home office was not that difficult. Remover, I was the remover of my office equipment and into my home office. And then removableness. You know, you can do these family words, but sometimes it's nice just to speak plain, straight words, and there's not much of an opportunity for removableness. It might come out, but you at least know what the root word of that is, right? All right, the next family words would be for emphasis. And so that is a noun, emphasis is a noun, but if you changed it to a verb, emphasize, like I emphasize strong syllables when I'm speaking. She emphasizes strong syllables when speaking. They emphasized the strong syllables when they were speaking. We are emphasizing the strong syllables when we are speaking. And then emphatic. Emphatic means like you're kind of like putting your foot down, like you absolutely mean it. I am emphatic about you getting your room clean by 5 o'clock. Or emphatical, which is probably not much of an opportunity to use it, but it is a family word. All right, and the last one was consent, and that was the way we were using it was noun. Like, I do not give consent for my daughter to go to the party. That would be a noun, but you can also make it a verb. So she consents to let her daughter to go to the party. She is consenting to let her daughter go to the party. She consented to let her daughter go to the party. And then consentingly is the adverb. And then one noun, consenter. She was the consenter of the decision. Okay, that's it for family words. Let me go down there. Okay, so now we're ready to go to the last day of your packet. Oh, let's skip this. All right, so we're going to look at your last ad for the packet. And it was Timberland shoes or hiking boots. Would you call those shoes or hiking boots? I don't know. Okay, it says, born in the woods, raised in the city. And you see how like this part of the picture is like a picture of a city, and then the reflection in the water is in the forest or in the woods. So it's kind of saying that this hiking shoe would work either in the woods, or it would be pretty enough to wear in the city, or cool enough to wear in the city. It works both places. All right, and then the very bottom says the new 1978 Fly Roam hiker. And then congratulations on 25 years. So, all right. So who or what is this mainly about? It's about these Timberland shoes, right? And what is the most important thing about this picture? What is it trying to tell you? It's trying to tell you that this shoe works, or this hiking boot works in both worlds, works in the woods, works in the city. So how would we write a gist or a main idea sentence for that? Well, the first one that I put was, the Timberland hiker works well in the woods or the city. But guess what? That's 11 words. So that was a little bit too much, wasn't it? We are working to narrow the words down to just what is exactly needed. So I thought about it and I looked at it for a while, and then I changed it to this. The Timberland hiker adjusts to any environment. Does that say the same thing? Yeah, pretty much. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So only 7 words. So that was a little bit better. Now, if you'll notice, I didn't use the woods or the city. So I still am summarizing it, but I'm not using exact words off the ad. I'm summarizing it. I'm getting it just to the main point. And I did want to tell everyone that sometimes when you're writing sentences, whether that's in your vocabulary or the main idea sentences, sometimes it's good to just write them, not look at them for an hour, go away, do something else, and come back an hour later. Look at the same sentence and say, is there any way I can make this clearer? Is there any way that I can condense this down a little bit and make the very same meaning, but not using as many words? And I do it all the time. I look at stuff an hour after I've written it to see if I can condense it, and usually I can. So that's a good skill for most people to develop when they're writing English sentences. And that's the next thing you'll be doing, the yes, no, or why sentences. Make sure to give complete thoughts, give a complete reason why, and with correct grammar and punctuation. So today, the smooth reading was on pay yourself first. And the smooth reading for that is in the video that Faye and I did together, so be sure and look for that. That was really fun doing that with Faye. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do is to highlight all of the suffix that end in ing. Okay, so we're going to pause it for a second so you can do that. Okay, so when I got done, I had 15 words that ended in the suffix ing. All right, so we're going to do the main idea together, and we're also going to do your graphic organizer together. At this point, you should know the 2 questions that I'm going to ask you when it comes to coming up with a main idea sentence. So who or what is this mostly about? This reading? It's about saving money, isn't it? And then the next question, in 10 words or less, what is the most important thing about this story? What's happening in this story? Tim and Anne are learning to save money. Their car is going to die at some point. It's rusty and it's leaking oil, so they know they had to save money for a new one. So in 10 words or less, what I said was, Tim and Anne save money to buy a new car. Does that present the main idea? Yeah. Okay, so over here on your graphic organizer, Tim and Anne save money to buy a new car. And the effects of that is that they paid themselves first before paying other bills. That's a definite change, isn't it? An effect is something that has changed, a consequence or a result. They used to pay their other bills. Of course, they paid their bills all the time. But now they're making a commitment to pay themselves first before paying their other bills. The second effect of this in this article was they opened a savings account, didn't they? That's where they were putting their $100 a month that they were saving. They put it into a savings account so that it would earn interest. So that was the second effect. And then the third effect, you can disagree with me on this one, but I always like to try to find also a positive effect or a different effect in the article. So the last effect I put down was it felt good to be working towards their money goal. Okay, that's an effect emotionally. They felt really good about saving that $100 a month. So that is the graphic organizer for your last smooth reading in this packet. Now I'm going to get my eraser. See if I'm bumping the. So I wanted to talk about the word pay yourself first and then getting paid. So the present tense is pay. And then the past tense is paid. And you will see the paid in your reading. So why is it not this way? Why is the past tense not P-A-Y-E-D, paid? Well, this is an irregular verb. Pay is an irregular verb. And all I can tell you is that you just have to memorize these. You have to memorize the irregular verbs. There's about 100 that you can memorize because it doesn't follow rhyme or reason of any other English rules. It doesn't, so you just have to memorize them. So I thought I would share with you a list of some different irregular verbs. Let me pull that up. Okay. So here's 75 irregular verbs. So the present tense for the first one, let me see if I can do a highlight on this too, since I'm learning all this stuff. Yes, I can. Okay, so look at the first one, beat. Beat is in the present. The past is beat also. Not beated, but just beat. And then the past participle, like I have beaten, is en. And then we'll just go over to the next list. Fall, and then the past tense is fell, and then the past participle, I have fallen. Okay, the next one is lose, and the past tense is lost, and the past participle, I have lost, is just lost. So do you see why I'm saying you have to memorize these? It makes, there is no rhyme or reason. You just straight out have to memorize these words. So here's pay, pay, and then the past tense is paid, and then the past participle, I have paid. All right, I think I'm going to, well, first of all, let me get rid of that little spotlight. I also found a pretty good little explanation that I included here, how to learn the horrible list, which I thought was kind of cute. You just have to memorize them. But I liked it because it separated it into categories for you so that you could sort of see a little bit of the reason. Okay, so like this first group are the very important verbs, like I am, I was, you were, ones that we use a lot. And then perception verbs, you're hearing, you're seeing, you're smelling. No change at all. How much did that cost? It cost me $2. How much did it cost last week? It cost $2 last week. Okay, and then let me get rid of this little. Anyway, this entire list takes you through the different categories, and then I think that pay, unfortunately, the pay and paid is in this last group, the miscellaneous. So there's pay right down there, paid. Okay, so anyway, I just thought that I'd bring that up to you. I've talked to my class several times about irregular verbs, and you just have to memorize them. So if you gave me your email address, I'm going to email those to you. If you haven't given me your email address, could you please give me your email address? And that way I can email that to you as well. All right. I'm just checking my list over here to make sure I've covered everything. So it's reading, paid. All right, so that's it for this book. We are done with this first book. The very last page is done. That's done. So the next book, which will start this Monday, it's actually thinner. I didn't count them exactly, but it really is a lot thinner than the one that we just got through with. It has a date April 20th through May 14th. Have you picked that up? We just put boxes outside of the main office. We have mailed it to people from Guyman in Oklahoma. I haven't heard from anyone else as of today, Thursday the 16th. If you don't have your packet yet, let me know, and we will make sure to get it to you because you're going to need it on Monday. And as I've said before, a lesson learned from the last one that we did, every page is numbered, so we will never get confused as to what page numbers, as to what pages you're doing for that week. Okay, so everybody get prepared for your new packet. We will do a Zoom conference again next week, and we're going to play a fun game. We're going to do a bingo game on all of the vocabulary words that we have learned in the past month. So it'll be fun. No pressure. It's just going to be fun. And I'm enjoying the Zoom conferences. It's nice to talk with you guys and or see your face if you have that capability. All right, so that's it. I will see all of you on Monday, April 20th with the new packet. Bye.